get started.
So I'm Nick Dixon and the president of the Smyrna Business Association. And this December 3rd, 2020, Smyrna Business Association virtual program is now called to order. I would like to invite Pastor Shell Osmond of Life Church, Smyrna Assembly of God for the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you so much, Nick. It's a joy to be together with the association again. I've already extended my apology to Nick, but let me do so publicly. I'll have to bail out of our meeting shortly, but it's good to be together with everyone virtually. Nick, you'd like me to begin with the invocation followed by the pledge, correct?
Correct.
Very good. If you would like to join me in a moment of prayer, we'll just commit this meeting and certainly ourselves to the Lord once again. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for another wonderful day. We thank you for this great community that we call Smyrna, a place in which we're able to live, work, play, worship, and just enjoy life. We thank you, Lord, for our mayor and city council. We thank you for all of those who are leading strategically during perhaps what is certainly the most difficult season of our lives. While this might be our first global pandemic, I'm convinced it's not your first global pandemic. So you have experience upon which we need to guide our lives and our businesses, our churches, the decisions that we make. And so we humbly bow before you and we ask for your wisdom that comes from another world. Thank you, Lord, for all the men and women that are part of this great association who are helping to make this community better in so many different ways. We pray for your guidance and your direction, your favor, certainly your protection. We pray, Lord, for those who are struggling and sick and having difficulties during not only this season, but at any season of life. We pray that you would extend your hand upon them in some wonderful ways. And Father, now, while some might offer their prayer in another name, it's my honor to offer my prayer today in the name of my Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen and amen. Now, if we could join together for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Pastor Shell.
You're welcome, Nick. Thank you.
At this time, before we get started with the meeting, we do have some door prizes. So quickly, we're going to do a quick trivia question. So, Sarah, do we have some trivia for the good people for some door prizes?
Yes, and we have we have 4 door prizes today. So I'm going to start it off with a Nothing But Cakes gift certificate. And here is our question. If you will type in the chat box at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a chat box. I can't catch everybody yelling out, so if you'll type your question in the chat box, the first to answer correctly will be the winner. And if you don't get this one, like I said, we've got 3 others coming up. Here's your trivia question. Smyrna is known as this city, a yellow flower that blooms in the spring. All right, we've got Kay Eller as our first winner today.
Nice
Congrats,
job,
Kay.
All right.
Awesome.
All right. We'll get back to some more trivia here shortly. Stick around for more prizes. Now for our Smyrna community update, we have the Director of Information Technology, Chris Addix.
Yes. Thank you. It's good to be here with you guys. Just got a few updates. I'm assuming everybody can hear me.
You can.
I wanted to share that we're pleased that we have to date awarded $120,000 in small business grants to over 109 businesses. This was part of the CARES Act funding that we received. So we're pretty proud of that. I don't know if there's anything left. If there is, it would be on our website. So if you're interested, go there. A couple of announcements from Parks and Rec. It is Christmas season, and wish everybody a happy holiday. We have drive-in movies back again at the community center, one on the 4th and one on the 18th. The movies will be Home Alone and then Home Alone 2. The Optimus Santa House will be open this year on December 5th, 13th, and 19th from 2 to 6 p.m. They'll be doing contactless pictures that will be taken on the porch. And then we have a new thing that we're working on. I'm not sure if it's been published yet on the website, but it will be there on the Facebook page called Bright Nights, a community celebration. It's a interactive map that with pictures from residents who decorate their houses up for the holidays. You can even add your house if you'd like to, and the map's going to be shared with everyone and give people an idea of a place to go drive around and enjoy holiday night lights. And that's pretty much it for me.
Thank you so much, Chris, for that update. And now at this time, I want to talk about our Business Person of the Year. Every year, the Smyrna Business Association votes on someone who embodies those qualities. And David Monroe, the 2019 Business Person of the Year, is going to be giving that presentation.
Well, thank you, Nick. It was an honor to be the Business Person of the Year last year. I was very humbled by it. And this year's winner is probably even more humbling than I have ever been. This year's winner has been a part of the SBA for over 5 years, 4 of those years on the SBA board in a major role. After over 30 years as a VP level and a C-suite level leader in corporate America, they retired and jumped right into entrepreneurship as a small business owner. They did some research, landed on a specific business to get licensed in a specific area. After deciding they didn't want to be north of the snow belt, they landed on Smyrna, Georgia. Knowing this winner for over 5 years, we've watched him grow his business through networking events, not only with SBA, but also through BNI groups and other business associations. The winner is a networking machine. When I asked a few SBA members what you thought, what you knew of this winner, they said, this winner is always professional in representing both themselves and SBA. The winner is trustworthy, reliable, and humble, and an asset to every organization and business to which they lend their skills and energy. This winner's role in corporate America was to save money to the bottom line, and they saved their last employer millions before retiring. Over the last 4 years, this winner's role has been to lead the effort to help SBA raise money annually, and they did that well. Over the last 4 years, the winner has helped SBA raise over $52,000. This money has been helping local schools, community, and nonprofits. As the chairperson of the sponsors program, this winner has done the job well and with a smile. The winner of Smyrna Business Person of the Year is our friend and SBA board member, Steve Gardner, president at Alpine Sign and Graphic Studio. Congratulations, Steve.
Thanks very much, David.
Yay! Here's your plaque. I'd hand it through the screen if I could. Oh, I got it upside down.
That's
Very
great.
good. I thought it was upside down.
Thank you very much to everybody. I'm very humbled. As you indicated, David, never would have expected it, but thank you very much for the honor.
You're welcome. You deserve it.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
I'll drop by your studio later today and give you a plaque.
All right, cool.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate that, David. Those are very kind words. And thank you, Steve Gardner, for everything that you do in the business community. And at this time, I'm going to share my screen. so that you can see our sponsors for 2020. And it's because of our sponsors that we're able to invest back into the community, provide scholarships to students. And here are a list of the sponsors if you're looking for some great businesses to work with. And if you are a sponsor for the Smyrna Business Association, you have the opportunity during our programs like this in order to speak to the members. And this year, our December presentation is going to be by Joseph Marlborough of the UPS store in Smyrna on Cobb Parkway. And at this time, I'm going to give the floor to Joseph Marlborough.
Did you get my video?
I do have your video, and I can play it whenever you're ready.
Okay. Well, I'll introduce it, and then we'll play the video. All right. So Joseph with the UPS store. We're on Cobb Parkway, behind Walgreens and Starbucks, across from the Brave Stadium. So obviously, it's our season of the year, our favorite part of the year. There's only about 12 shipping days until Christmas, believe it or not. So if you want to get your packages to your friends and loved ones before Christmas, get it to the UPS store as soon as possible. We're anticipating a record year in terms of volume and shipping. So shop early and ship early is the theme of the year. Right now, not only can we ship your packages, we can also pack them as well. We're also accepting drop-offs from Amazon. So if you've bought stuff online through Amazon, you can return it at the UPS store. We're their preferred vendor, if you will. We're also taking returns for Comcast, AT&T, Charter, and Charter Spectrum, and Cox Communications. So if you've bought devices or equipment of whatever you've moved or changing services, we can also accept those returns also. But again, the UPS store, we've expanded our hours between now and Christmas from 8 a.m. until 7 p.m. on Saturdays from 10 until 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 11 until 3. So come and visit us at the UPS store, and we have a commercial.
At the UPS store, we know this holiday there's even more you put into shopping. Everything for the holidays all in one place.
The UPS store.
UPS store. And we like a challenge.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Joseph. We definitely appreciate that. And thank you to all of our sponsors for all that you do for us and for the community. Now, Sarah, if you could present us with the announcements before we get to our vote for our 2021 Board of Directors.
Sure, I just have two short announcements. Nick, if you'll put up the slides. Yeah. I want to first announce, going off of what Chris told us about the Smyrna Bright Nights program, after talking with the city, they have invited businesses who would like to decorate their windows or some outdoor spot to become a designated selfie spot on the Bright Nights map. The city is inviting businesses to do that. So if you have a brick and mortar store and you'd like to become a selfie spot on the map, you need to contact Penny at the city. Her email is down there on the screen. Do not sign up through the website, but instead contact Penny and she will put your business on the map. And that map is going to be up beginning, I think, tomorrow, and it'll be updated throughout the month of December. My second announcement is membership. Your Smyrna Business Association membership expires December 31st, and so you're welcome to renew your membership now on the Smyrna Business Association website. Here we go, here's the screen. If you are a new member, you can use the Join Now button on the Join Now page, or if you're a renewing member, use the Login button. We've changed our membership fees, and it's $85 this year. It's not going to be prorated, and there's no additional fee for being a new member. So join now, join soon, and get the benefit of your $85 membership fee. Thank you so much.
Awesome. And then at this time, we are going to talk about our 2021 Board of Directors. Before we get to that, I wanted to give a special thanks to our 2020 Board of Directors for this year and our 2020 President's Council. Obviously, this year has been one that none of us were anticipating, and the hard work and the dedication that everyone on the board has put into making this a successful year, despite everything going on around the world, is just absolutely amazing. And I would just want to give a personal thanks to every single member of the Smyrna Business Association, in addition to our board members as well. And at this time, I am going to share with you our 2021 Board of Directors. And after I share this Board of Directors, I'm going to give you all an anonymous poll, the approval of this approved slate of directors for 2021. And without further ado, here is our 2021 Board of Directors. For President of the Smyrna Business Association, we will have Sarah Sorensen. Lisa Hawk will be the VP of Communications. David Monroe, VP of Programs. Lisa Sunday, Treasurer. Charlie Silva, Secretary. Nick Dixon, Outreach, Sponsorship, and Past President. Ian King, Outreach and Memberships. Shauna K. Hunter, Outreach and Communications. Stephen Gardner, Programs. Joseph Marlborough, Programs. Barb Allen, Education. Gloricel Rodriguez, Education. Paul Powers, Networking. Terrence Bridgeforth, Networking. And our 2021 President's Council, Jabbar Dozier and Jim Delmer. And at this time, I am going to present you all with the poll. That is, do you approve the proposed slate of directors for 2021? Yay or nay? And I'm now going to launch that poll. So at 70% of the vote at this time, I'm going to project that the yays have it. And if we could get Sarah, if we can get a screenshot of that for our records as well. As a matter of fact, I think I can minimize this and keep it open. Awesome. So at this time, I would like to congratulate, let me see here, try to minimize this. At this time, I would like to congratulate the passing of our 2021 Board of Directors. Thank you, everyone. All right. And at this time, let's see here, officially, if we were in person, I would be handing this gavel over to Sarah Sorensen, because she is now officially the president of the Smyrna Business Association. So through the screen, I hand this gavel to you, Sarah, and she has virtually accepted the gavel and hammered it down. So thank you so much. Do you have any words, Sarah?
I have to give a big thank you to you, Nick, for taking a very difficult year and pivoting like no other to lead this organization. I have big shoes to fill. We still don't know what 2021 will bring, but I am so grateful to you for your enthusiasm and your leadership over the last year. Thank you so much. I am really thrilled to continue the efforts towards giving back and giving our members benefit through what looks like to be some more virtual programming for the next couple of months while we ride out this, this COVID health crisis. And I'm looking forward to doing it with a fantastic board full of really energetic, enthusiastic, and talented individuals. So please, make plans to join the SBA in 2021 if you have not done so already. We're very excited to have another, exciting year. It will be a different year, but I hope that you'll join us for it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Well said.
And at this time, I am now going to introduce you to our keynote speaker. And while I do that, I'm going to share my screen again. Let's see here. Can you see the my shared screen? Does that work? I clicked a different button this time. You all can see that, I assume.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So, super excited. Reverend Dr. Dwight Reighard, he is the president and CEO of Must Ministries, serving 34,000 people a year struggling in poverty. Ike has successfully combined business experience with ministry and has an astounding reputation for transforming communities through serving others. 3 years running, the Atlanta Business Chronicle named him as one of the 50 CEOs of Who's Who in Atlanta nonprofits. Ike is also senior pastor at Piedmont Church. Since 2005, he has guided the building of membership and service to a high and sustainable level. He continues to minister and maintain a strong relationship with his church. Previously, he was founding pastor of North Star Church and guided that church to unprecedented growth from 1997 until 2006. North Star is recognized as a mega church and noted as the fastest growing church startup in the world's largest Protestant denomination. In the corporate arena, Ike served as executive vice president, chief people officer, and originator of the Office of People and Culture for Home Bank Mortgage Corporation from 2000 until 2007. He has co-authored 2 popular daily inspirational books, Success Insights and Daily Insights with Zig Ziglar, for Tyndale House Publishing. He is also the author of Treasures from the Dark, Discovering Your North Star, and Discovering Your North Star Journal, and is contributing author to Human Capital Management Strategies. He and his wife, Robin, have 2 grown daughters, Abigail and Danielle, and a granddaughter, Addison. At this time, I'm going to turn the floor over to Reverend Dr. Dwight Reighard.
Well, thank you so much, Nick. And I want you to know how excited I am to be with all of you today. We're 22 days away from Christmas. Can you believe that? I know I can't believe it. And yet at the same time, I know that's a reality. And I love Christmas. Now, I'm one of those Christmas people. You can probably see behind me in my office, it's all decorated. The fireplace is going. I mean, I love everything about Christmas. And I think one of the reasons I love it so much is that Christmas gives you the 3 great stages of life. The first stage is you believe in Santa Claus. The second stage is you don't believe in Santa Claus. And the third stage is you find out, oh, dear Lord, I am Santa Claus. And so when we go through all of those different stages in our life, we certainly do realize a lot of things. So Christmas is usually around giving, and it's usually around gifts. And I want to talk to you about that today for a little while. And I want to start out with a quote by Martin Luther King Jr. He said, everybody can be great because everybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and verb agree in order to be able to serve. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul that's generated by love. So what I want to do today is to be able to help you know how to give the best gift that you could ever give anyone. And I want to do it by telling you a story. Of course, that's what a preacher's going to do. We're going to tell you a story, and we're going to take an offering. So Nick, get ready for that toward the end of this. And so the story revolves around the best Christmas gift that I ever received. Now, I want you to think about it. You know, you're sitting in your offices in different places right now. I want you to think about what is the greatest gift that you ever received, or you might think of it this way at Christmas. What was a gift that transformed your life? And so I want to share with you mine. Now, first of all, I grew up in downtown Atlanta on Marietta Street. So we used to think that Smyrna was somewhere way out in the country in those days. You know, seemed like a long ways away from Marietta Street. It's probably about 5 miles or something like that. But I grew up there in inner city Atlanta, and there was a little shopping area on Marietta Street. As you would go from like where Marietta Boulevard and Marietta Street is, that's the neighborhood I lived in. It was called Howell Station. On one side of Howell Station was Perry Homes. On the other side of Howell Station was a textile mill community. And on Marietta Street, there was a little shopping area in those days called Bellwood. And they had a store there called Sunshine's Department Store. And so one day my mom made me go with her. It was in the spring, probably around April or May. I remember it was a really nice day. And she made me go shopping with her at Sunshine's Department Store. And so, of course, like any kid, I migrated over. I was 11 years old, and I migrated over to where the toys were located. And I fell in love for the first time in my life. And you say, with a sales girl? No, not at all. I fell in love with a Schwinn Tiger bicycle. And it was absolutely perfect. I mean, you know, I heard Joseph talking earlier. Joseph, it looked absolutely like it just had my name on it, buddy. I mean, it was like it was under halogen bulbs. And I'm looking at this bicycle, and I'm falling in love. So remember, it's about April or May. So I run over and grab my mom. When you finish, you got to come over here. I found exactly what I want for Christmas. And so before she was walking over there, in those days, you didn't have a barcode. You simply had a cord hanging down with a price tag on it. And on one side of that price tag, it had how much this was going to cost. On the other side, it had a caricature of the man they called Papa Sunshine at Sunshine's Department Store. And so I twisted the tag so Papa Sunshine would be looking at my mother, because I didn't want my mother to see how much the bike was. I wanted her to fall in love with it first. And I thought Papa Sunshine had a lot better chance than how much I knew that bike was going to cost. So my mom comes over finally, and of course walks up to the bicycle, and she does exactly what every mom would do. She flipped the price tag around, right? And when she looked at it, I'll never forget it as long as I live. She looked at that price tag and she goes, "Ike Joe, you're not gonna get this bike. That's ridiculous." And I remember her saying this phrase. She said, "Your dad doesn't make that kind of money." See, my dad worked in rock quarries, and he came to Atlanta to work in what is the Bellwood Rock Quarry. It's now part of the Beltline Project, and where the reservoir is going to be for the city of Atlanta. And so when my dad came to Atlanta, he spent the rest of his life working in that rock quarry. And my parents both had 5th grade educations and grew up part of their life during the Depression. And so she just made really sure that I understood that there was no way I was going to get this bike. But I went into salesman mode, you know. We had the business person of the year today that was elected. So I know that Steve knows how to sell. And so I went into selling mode. And I started explaining to my mother, you know, basically I was saying, look, it's May. What if I don't eat until December? I thought that was a good trade-off right there. So I threw that in. I also threw in, and I thought this was very wonderful of me, very altruistic. I said, you don't even have to get me a birthday present. Now, the truth is, My birthday is on December the 12th. And I don't know how many of you, I wish I could see the full gallery of everyone, because I would ask you, if you have a birthday in December, to raise your hand. Because everyone born in December knows that you get ripped off by having your birthday in December. The only person who ever made out good in December, to my knowledge, was the baby Jesus. And it took 3 people on camels to bring him all of his gifts. But for most of us, people will say something like this: well, you know, I just combined your birthday and your Christmas present into one. And we're thinking, no, you didn't, you liar. You just wanted to get out cheaper on this deal. And so obviously, I've had to have a lot of therapy over my birthday over the years. But I tried that on my mom. I don't eat between now and December. You know, I don't want anything for my birthday. And she never wavered, not for one moment. She said, you can get it out of your head. You're not going to get that bicycle. But as you can probably tell by now, I'm ADD. And when I get obsessed about something, it's pretty crazy. And so I was like a 13-year-old girl today wanting an iPhone. Or, you know, somebody, a guy or a gal wanting the new PlayStation. I was just obsessed with getting this bicycle. And so from May all the way through December, I was talking about it. And then finally, Christmas Eve arrived. And at our family, we opened up our presents on Christmas Eve. And then we went to the mountains of North Carolina, where our family was from, in rural Appalachia, to be able to celebrate with them. So on Christmas Eve, I announced with great fanfare that I was going to be leaving the house, that I was going to go down and play football with my buddies at Night Park, that I probably wouldn't be back until it was time to open up gifts, because I wanted to give them ample opportunity to be able to bring my bicycle in, to be able to position it. We had the most natural Christmas tree that year, and all of the baby boomers on here will understand, because it was made out of silver tinsel, and it was in a stand that played music like a music box, and it was Christmas carols. And we had a light wheel with 4 colors that was rotating. The tree was rotating. You could have a seizure in our front room watching our Christmas tree display. And so I was just sure that when I came through that door at 1097 Lonely Avenue, that I was going to walk in, I was going to look over at the Christmas tree, I was going to go, oh my gosh, you really got me the bike. I mean, I was totally convinced. And when I walked through that door, I started assessing the situation. And there wasn't a bicycle under the tree. As a matter of fact, if that bicycle had been disassembled, there weren't enough packages under the tree to be able to put a bicycle together, because we'd each get like 3 gifts. And that year I got a fake leather jacket. I also got like a little race car set that you had remote controls for. And I got a Huffy football outfit, and it was the Sonny Jurgensen's model, who played quarterback for the Washington Redskins. And that's what I got for Christmas that year. And my mother looked over and said, did you like your gifts? And I said, oh yeah, they were great. If the word whatever would have been around, I would have rolled my eyes dramatically and hit them with that. But that word wasn't around back then. And I said, oh yeah, it was great. She said, did the jacket fit? Yeah, it fit great. I was just so short. Was the race car set? Yeah, everything was fine. Well, then my mother decides to drop the straw that breaks the camel's back, because I was so upset. I've had people say, were you disappointed? Oh, no, I was livid. There is a big, big difference. I was livid. I was insane. I was a maniac. I was seething inside. And now my mother drops the straw, because we would always have dinner after having opened up presents. And she said to me, if you can imagine this, I would like for you to go across the street to Mrs. Miller's house. Mrs. Miller's husband worked in the rock quarry, and she used to bake cakes and pies and would sell them. and my mother said, she has baked a coconut cake for us. Would you go over and get it? Well, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And I heard, now turned 12 years old, and I hear my 12-year-old mouth say, and just put yourself in this story with your mother. I heard myself say to my mother, if you want the cake so bad, why don't you go get it yourself? I can tell Kay's mama, I can see Kay up on my screen, and she's going, you're not going to pull that trash on my mom. But I thought that I could. And by the way, this was my first near-death experience. And there was a long, dark tunnel, and there was a bright light on the other end, and I saw Jesus just kind of covering his eyes going, that woman's going to knock that boy this far. And all of a sudden, my dad jumped up. My dad never jumped up. And he grabbed me by the arm and said, son, when your mother tells you to do something, you do it. You get across that street. When I left my house, I slammed the door as hard as I could. I was so mad, I was so hurt that I just slammed it as hard as I could. And here was my first thought as I'm outside the house. I thought, I hope to God that I'm adopted, because I do not want to believe that genetically I have sprung from two people who couldn't get just the one thing, only wanted one thing, and get it right. I didn't want any other Christmas presents. I gave up the birthday. I'm not eating for 8 months. I mean, what else can I do to get what I wanted? And it hadn't happened. And it had been raining a little bit that night, and I'm walking over to Miss Miller's house, kind of get the picture, a house built in the early 1900s. It's got a hedge around it. It's got one of those little white picket gates there in front, and she's got a screened-in porch. So I pushed her gate, and I went up and went inside the screen porch, and I go up and I start knocking on her door, and it's got one of those big, huge glass in the door, and it starts rattling, and I see Miss Miller kind of waddling up to come up to the door and everything, and when she gets there, she flips on the light, and there to my right on her screen porch is a Schwinn Tiger bicycle. Now, I'm not as smart as most of y'all on this Zoom call, because you're thinking he got the bike. Here's what I'm thinking. Is this not the way that life goes? Old Miss Miller got a Schwinn Tiger bicycle. Told y'all I was dumb. I mean, all the way through. And here I am. That's what I wanted. And about that time, I hear my mother's voice. Hey, Ike, that's the one, isn't it? That's the one you wanted. And I'm the baby of my family. So the other 3 siblings were out there. Hey, get it out. We want to see you ride it. We want to see you. But in that moment, when I had got what I demanded, I think I was as sick of who I was at any point in my life. Because I started thinking about that day in the store. When I said to my mom, this is what I want, and she looked at the price tag and she said, Ike, your dad doesn't make that kind of money. My dad worked in a rock quarry. And every morning of my life, he would have on his work boots, and he would leave about 6 o'clock in the morning. And we had an old floor furnace in our house that never worked. And I'd always hear his boots hit that floor furnace, and then he'd knock on the door and he'd go, hey, Ike, time to get up, son. Time for you to get ready to go to school. And here's what I thought. How many times did his boots hit that floor furnace in order to buy me what I had demanded? They're all yelling, that's the right one, isn't it? My throat was so tight, I couldn't answer them. I'm just standing there. And I'm thinking about my dad, and I'm thinking about what he sacrificed to go to work every day to give me something that was a very expensive gift for our family. And the other thing I remember is that all of a sudden, I felt just really hot on my face, and it was tears. I never remember the tears being in my eyes. I just remember suddenly they're going down my face. Now, I did not grow up in a religious family. I did not grow up in a family where we went to church, ever, ever. I prayed my first prayer on that church, on that porch that I ever remember. And here's what I prayed. God, I don't ever want to feel like this again, ever. And please, God, make me a giver and not a taker. A 12-year-old kid's prayers. And I'm telling you, it changed my life. It completely changed it. I have never, since that day, when I was 12 years old, so let's say 30 years ago, I have never wanted anything like I wanted that bike. So I've told the story for years, especially at Christmas, to different groups and things. And so a few years ago, it's Christmas Eve at my house. I live on Lost Mountain out in West Cobb. And it's Christmas Eve, and there's this knock on our door at 11 o'clock at night. And I go, who in the world will be coming up to our house at 11 o'clock at night? And I said it out loud. My wife goes, well, you need to go check. And I said, no, it could be bad. You go check. And I'll stay back in the foyer, but you go ahead and check it out. She goes, no, I think you need to be the one. And I opened up the front porch door, and there was a Schwinn Tiger bicycle. The year was a 1962 model. That's when all that happened to me. And my wife had tracked one down on eBay and had this huge red bow on it. And today, that bike hangs on my wall in my office at Must Ministries. Because my wife said, when you go do this kind of work, you're going to be talking to people about giving, to be able to take care of people in poverty, and that's what your mom taught you. See, my mom would feed the people that were homeless in her day, and they were called hobos, because we lived right across the street from Inman Yards, the rail station. And my mother would feed those hobos and take care of them. And I believe if she were alive today, she would be so proud of the work that we get to do at Must Ministries. But that bike just hangs there as a reminder of how much more blessed it is to give than to receive. Because if you act ugly and you act terrible, then whatever you get is not going to make you happy. It's just not going to do it. So I think about William James, the father of American psychology, when he said, the greatest realization that I've ever had is that you can alter your life by altering your attitude. So you know what I think the greatest gift is that you can give people this Christmas? A better you. You know, to be a better friend. To take time to sit down, and there's some people that have influenced your lives, and they've influenced your life greatly. And to be able to take a pen and to sit down and to be able to write those people. I've had an interesting life in that two of the three people that I admire the most, two of the three people, I've done their funerals for them. And I look back at life and I think about how glad I am that I let them know what they meant to my life. It doesn't take very much to take a moment to write a handwritten note. But you know, for me, just about every handwritten note I have, I've kept. I keep them in different files places because there's something about seeing that someone took a moment to take a pen in hand and to sit down and to write me a note. I've taught my children to be note writers, to be able to simply say, hey, you've really blessed my life. So how could you be a better you this Christmas? How could you alter your life by altering your attitude? Well, we're in the middle of COVID, and we have all kinds of opportunities to make a difference. And whether it's you support an organization like Cobb Family Resources that do such a great job, or Sweetwater Mission that's down in your area there, around Smyrna and serving that South Cobb area so well. Luther Washington and the great work that he does in the Mapleton area. There's so many great organizations that are doing such wonderful work. How could you maybe this year go in and volunteer for them to be able to make a difference in that organization's life, to find different ways that you can serve? Because again, Martin Luther King's quote, everybody can be great because anybody can serve. So becoming a servant leader during this season, listening to what people have to say. One day, my wife and I got very close to Zig and his wife. And someone was asking me about Zig because he's so well known. And I was telling the story about him. And I said, he's just the greatest speaker that I've ever heard for the way he can lift an audience. And my wife said, I think he's the greatest listener I've ever known. Because when you were with Zig, you were really with Zig. I mean, he had an ability to be able to be there. And y'all, in this very plugged in world that we live in, it's so easy to be physically present and emotionally and mentally totally disconnected from the people that you're with. Why not give a better you this year by actually listening when people talk? As a matter of fact, if you really do this right, you can freak out your family. Don't believe me? Try it tonight. If you've got a spouse or a significant other, when they start talking to you, I want you to just stop whatever you're doing, and I want you to just look at them and then watch them freak out. They're going to look at you finally go, why are you looking at me? And you're going to say, well, because you're talking to me. Then they're going to say, well, you don't normally look at me when I'm talking to you. And you can tell them, well, I got kind of challenged on that today. Maybe when you go through the drive-through, take a second to look at that person and say, how are you doing today? How's things going for you? As a person of faith, I often ask people, hey, I'm a minister, I'm going to be driving for a little while. Is there anything that I can pray for you on? You know, I've never been turned down. Never. To take a moment. It's sad that we're so transactional in this world that we could go through a drive-through and have a person serve us, take their time and serve us. And if they had a police lineup 10 minutes later, we wouldn't be able to pick that person out of that lineup. Take time to look at people. The world is built on relationships. The world is built on trust. And if you're going to be a better you, keep your promises. It's better to not make a promise than to break a promise. But keep your promises. Keep your promises that you make to your children. Be a better you. Keep the promises that you make to your spouse. Be that trustworthy person. And I tell you what, the greatest gift they'll ever get is they'll get you. And they'll get you with a great attitude. So I hope that you all have a wonderful Christmas and holiday season, whatever it is that you might celebrate during this time, because I know that we have a lot of people from different faith backgrounds and some with no faith background at all. But from the world where I sit, it's just, to me, it's the most remarkable time of year. So Nick, thank you for sending out that invitation to me and getting me the Zoom link to be with you. And if there's any questions I can answer for you, I'll be glad to do that. I will tell you very quickly that to give you a snapshot, since March the 16th until this past week, normally in an entire year in all 4 areas, we will touch roughly 33,000 unique individuals. Since March the 16th till this past week, we're over 150,000 individuals. So we've served 120,000 more people so far than we served last year. And we've got our toy store open right now, and we'll serve over 4,000 children through the toy store. We've given away over 1.6 million pounds of food. It's just amazing what we've done. And as overwhelming as the need has been, the generosity of people have met it. So Thank y'all for the way that you support Must. Nick?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Ike. And then at this time, I can open the floor up for any questions that anybody has.
Nick, I have a question.
Go ahead.
This is Kay with Vision Rehabilitation Services, and I just want to first say thank you so much. That was a wonderful presentation, and thank you. You've partnered, Must Ministries has partnered with VRS in the past, and when we get to be back in groups again, I hope that we can partner again in person. My question is, out of the donations you're getting, are you short on anything in particular that we would want to concentrate on first, be it the toys, be it food donations, be it cash?
Food donations. Yeah, we struggle with that because we've just gone through Thanksgiving, and of course that was a huge volume time. And a lot of our normal sources of getting food, like doing food drives at schools, at churches, most of them have been compromised, because of the situation with COVID. And of course, cash donations are always greatly appreciated. And you can go to mustministries.org, Kay, and it gives you different ways. Pastas, canned meat, protein, big time. Those are the things that go out the door really, really fast. And now we are serving over 600 families a month. We have 29 food pantries located in schools, but that school may serve another school. So we're probably closer to 80 schools that are being served in Marietta City, Cobb, and we have a couple up in Cherokee County. That food pantry program has been amazing. And if you have people that volunteer in your community, and go out and volunteering and calling some of the schools that have the pantries and volunteering there, you can certainly do it through Must. We would love it. But with Green Acres Elementary, we were there to open a pantry, and Ashley Mize, the principal, as she cut the ribbon, she started crying, and she kind of stopped everything. She said, I know I look ridiculous crying right now. Let me tell you why. She said, I had a little girl come up a few weeks ago, and she caught me before school, and she said, Ms. Mize, can you get me something to eat? And she said, well, certainly, honey. She said, did you not have breakfast this morning? She said, no, ma'am, and I didn't have dinner last night. And Ashley asked her, she said, well, honey, why didn't you have dinner last night? And she said, because it wasn't my turn to eat. I cannot imagine being a parent and being in a situation like that. But we have families that are there. And with what COVID did, at one point they were projecting that if you made $40,000 or under in the city of Atlanta and the region, 40% of those folks were out of work. 40%. So it's been staggering. The thing that we're gearing up for right now at Must is for the evictions. That when the eviction moratorium is lifted, that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be in trouble. And would you believe that during this entire COVID thing, and this just happened a couple of weeks ago, and thankfully it was isolated, we didn't have one case of COVID at Must in our homeless shelter. Now you think about the population and some of them coming out of situations that they're in, and we just had everyone tested. We have a new partnership with Mercy Care. We have a clinic now, so if you run into people that are needing health care and they can't afford it, get in touch with Mercy Care, and they're right there at our Foothills location on Cobb Parkway. So we're really excited about that kind of a partnership, and we love partnerships. We love partnering with you. So any way we can do that and be of service to you, to me, that's just what we should be doing in our community. But thank you for asking, Kay. Appreciate that. Yes, ma'am.
Pastor Ike, I had a quick question also. Do you have any, I've had a lot of friends who have had dental issues where their teeth are killing them, their amoxicillin isn't helping. And most of the dentists who are reopening are taking former patients, their patients, so it's like way down the line when they need emergency dental work. Is there any place that's doing that?
There is, and they're a wonderful partner to this community, and that's the Good Sam, Good Samaritan, that's over off Austell Road. And I went and did a tour there probably about a year ago, and their dental practice was as nice as anything I've ever walked into. They do amazing work there. Now, of course, they have thresholds because they're a FQHC, a federally qualified health clinic. And so you have all these different thresholds that come with that type of a designation. You're getting government funding. But Good Sam would be the place that I would tell you to call. They do remarkable work there.
Thank you. And we host our monthly meetings from Copeland's with you guys.
Oh, very good.
Copeland. So we really enjoy and getting to know everyone at Must.
I go in there and get that red beans and rice, man. That's a good meal right there. That's great. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for that info.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your questions, Kay and India, and Dr. Ike. Thank you so much for the talk today. It was very inspirational, and also as part of the Smyrna Business Association, we do like to give to a charity on behalf of our speakers, and on behalf of the SBA, we are going to be giving $100 to Must Ministries. I noticed that Sarah also put the link for mustministries.org in the chat box. And we asked this holiday season, if you have the ability and means to do so, please give to Must Ministries because they are doing a great work here in the community. And we do appreciate what you do, Dr. Ike. So thank you very much.
I'll tell you one thing real quick we're excited about. Georgia Gives Day yesterday. We received $173,000, and what we're doing with that money is we're converting a bus into a mobile food pantry. Also, we'll be able to take that bus and we'll be able to go out and give flu shots, maybe even COVID vaccine, who knows, because of our relationship with Mercy Care. So that's something that now we have the money to be able to do it, and hopefully it'll be up running in the spring, and you'll see it in some of your neighborhoods because it allows us to be more mobile. And part of our strategic plan at Must, that's now 5 years old, the last thing that we have to do is we want to replace our location in Smyrna. We're right there off Pat Mill Road at South Cobb, and so that location is so small and limited parking big time that we want to be able to replace that location. So several years ago, I met with some of the city officials in Smyrna and talked with them about when that day would come. And so now that we are building the new homeless shelter, and we're so excited about that, we do the big earth moving starts first week of January, and about 11 months from then, that building should be completed and we open up in 2022. And that'll have 136 beds with another 36 beds as flex space to be able to take care of people when the temperature drops down like it has this week. At 35 degrees, we open up emergency warming portions of our building to take care of people that are sleeping in their cars or in the woods. So just thank y'all again for all your support.
Oh yeah, thank you so much for that update. All right. Awesome. And before we adjourn the meeting, it is the giving season, and we have some more prizes for the people here who are quick with the keyboard hands. So Sarah, I'll give the floor to you to do a little bit more trivia.
All right, we've got 3 more trivia and prizes, and let's start with our next one, which will be a certificate for a free custom shirt from Shirt Shanty. So if you're short on holiday ideas, gift ideas, you can come up with something creative as a gift. So trivia open here. All right, here we go. And remember, write your answer in the chat. This Smyrna Business Association sponsoring business, I'm looking for the business name, covers local news with a positive view. Its local stories, event listings, and business advertisements reach over 30,000 homes in Cobb County each month. All right, we've got Joseph. We got Teresa. Teresa, you've got the correct spelling there. Joseph, your fingers weren't quite fast enough. So I'm going to give this one to Teresa. It is The Bright Side. And if you're not familiar with The Bright Side, check out the wonderful Kathy Lipset and The Bright Side for advertising opportunities and for the events coming up in the community. Okay, our next one will be another Nothing But Cakes gift certificates. Get your fingers ready. This popular downtown area is home to Smyrna's Jonkful Festival and local businesses like Zuka, Cafe Lucia, Atkins Park, Giving Tree Yoga, and Nothing But Cakes. And we've got Christy Hyatt. Christy Hyatt, Market Village. Yes, Smyrna Market Village. I'm sure everyone has checked it out. It's a great place to check out lights. If you have not done so this year so far, go check out the holiday lights in downtown. All right, our last trivia of 2020 and our last door prize. This is for a free banner from Instant Imprints. And this comes with standard typesetting and art, and you can work with them to customize it how you want. So for a free banner, here's our last trivia question. This Smyrna Business Association sponsoring business, again, the business name, is dedicated to assisting individuals who are blind or visually impaired so they can function independently and carry out their daily activities. Yes, all right, I'm going to give this one to Joseph. It's VRS, it's Vision Rehabilitation Services, and the wonderful Kay Eller. Thank you for all that you do in our community. We're so pleased to have you here in Smyrna. I will get in touch with everybody who won and make sure that you get your prizes. Thank you so much for playing trivia and for being here today. Thank you so much to Dr. Ike for your wonderful message this holiday season. We appreciate all you and Must Ministries do. And I'll turn it back to Nick.
Sarah, by the way, if everything doesn't work out for you, that QVC hosting gig, you need to go for it. You need to do it.
I think my husband might be a little disappointed if I turn down my law degree and my law career for the QVC thing, but you never know.
It depends on how much it pays.
It's true.
All right, well, awesome. Well, everybody, thank you once again for amazing 2020. And this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, guys.